Hey, welcome back into today's video. We're going to be talking about Creepshow Art. Now, obviously, her last video, the recent video that she uploaded about Emily Artful, well, there were some things in there that stood out. There were some things that foreshadowed the future that made me believe that she's not finished with YouTube. We're going to talk about the depth of this video and how far she went into Emily's past. We're also going to be talking about some emails that, well, she told on herself, and why she didn't talk about the locale stuff in this video specifically. I think that it ties into something, and I think that you're going to want to see this if you're unfamiliar. Creepshow Art is a YouTuber with over 300,000 subscribers, but she's losing those fast. She was also somebody at one point in time that I called a friend. Not going to get into that. I've already talked about that numerous times. So if you're unfamiliar why Creepshow Art was canceled in the first place, in June 2021, Shannon became subject of accusations engaging in the internet gossip forum Locale. The controversy started to escalate after Locale forum admin had revoked Shannon's anonymity and obtained Shannon's post through her IP address for breaking the site's rules for anonymously advertising herself, deceptively posting about herself in third person, and other commitments. The admin also created a full post history compiling her anonymous posts reflected by the IP. I'll put that in the pinned comment. Fast forward Emily Artful. With the leaks of the Locale post, Emily tweeted, "This just needs to be said. This woman has tormented me for years and years." And then we got a video from Emily solidifying a lot of different things, effectively canceling Creepshow Art. So I did a live stream on Saturday about this situation, and when my intention was to go through a lot of this video. It made me feel extremely uncomfortable because the details were so deep into Emily Artful, like her background when she was a teenager, before she was a public figure. So as you can see, she's broke this down into parts. There's some things in here that just make no sense of why they're there. Part 2, illegal substance. We should not know anything about somebody's past use. This is about their past camming, Emily's past camming. Don't need to know about that. No idea why that's there. There's the Amy part. We'll get to that. This is a pretty dishonest. I'm going to go through a couple of these just to serve you the point. So here it says, after Emily and Anthony broke up, Emily dated a couple other people who both Anthony and I know. There are specifically 2 people who she dated between when she and Anthony broke up, stopped talking, and then reconnected after she got sober. And I'm going to be talking about that now. Why are you talking about this? This makes no sense, and this is one of my points. You would think that this serves some sort of purpose to exonerate her from what she's been accused of. But as you can see, it says, despite her saying that she is friends with all her exes except Anthony, we have proof of her accusing a plethora of past partners, in some cases their current partners, of ABUSC as well, some of which can be found on her YouTube channel. So here she shows a video of Emily's about a story time of where she was ABUSED and cheated on. And then she brings up another story time that involves RAPE. What she's doing here is bringing up specific examples of ABUSC that Emily has talked about, trying to say, look, it's a pattern of behavior. She often says that people ABUSC her. This, to me, is not evidence of a pattern of behavior. It's evidence that somebody's been through a very difficult time. And it's very ironic that this is being talked about in this video as to bring up a pattern of behavior. When you go to the part 11, and we're going to talk about this, the Amy part shows a pattern of behavior of dishonesty from Shannon. So it's ironic. In part 4, she details a situation in 2013 when Emily was 21, where she had some trouble in the anime community. And then for whatever reason brings up that she did cam work a year after she quit YouTube between June 2014 and July 2014, which to me is oddly and terribly specific, and it's strange. Part 5 is dedicated to when Emily cammed, where Emily talks about she moved into somebody that she just hated, and apparently somebody that did not treat her good. To which Creepshow Art shows a tweet from a 2014 account that only has 10 followers, In part 8, she actually says that her husband did troll Emily. Well, she calls it trolling. Anthony lightly trolled her in order to figure out why she had blocked him on Instagram, because they had been on good terms the last time they spoke. Anthony, I don't know who needs to tell you this, but if somebody blocks you, I don't want to speak to you. So here, and I'm going to blur this. This is a picture of 13-year-old Emily, which makes me, it's incredibly uncomfortable that this is here. To which it says, Emily's been posting from various accounts online since she was 13 years old, all of which have been verified to belong to her. So, what does that have to do with anything? This is where you get to the point where it's like, okay, Creepshow Art has a massive amount of information that seems to be curated from years and years and years and years of Emily's life, all the way back to when she was a child. And she's taking these pictures of when Emily was a child and she's posting them on this thing. It just feels really just wrong. She brings up an example where Emily talks about stalking her teacher in various posts, something that she admits to in the video she uploaded in 2016. So you're saying that she did some immature and crazy stuff when she was a teenager? Like in 7th grade? A 13, 14-year-old? That is right. 13, 14-year-old, 7th grade. How old was I in 7th grade? I think you can get the point that I'm putting out there. This was supposed to be a video where Shannon was alleged to have been stalking and harming Emily. And this was Creepshow's chance to come out here, show evidence to the
contrary.
She had every and opportunity to say what she needed to say, but she proved everything that Emily said in her video. So one of the weirdest things about the description of this video is that it has a link to the Google Drive here, and it goes to nowhere. It just says it just doesn't exist. And all the other links don't work either. Like if you just click one at random, it's not there. Which I'm not gonna lie, originally it freaked me out that I was clicking these links and they were going to nowhere. I'm like, man, am I getting my IP? Am I getting spoofed? Am I about to be doxxed? Because people can do that through these types of links. I don't know how to do it myself. I know there's a way out there to do this, and I was just like, oh man, this is not good. And then it hit me that I have nothing to worry about, because if she was able enough to do this, then she wouldn't have been caught anonymously talking crap about all her friends on lolcow. Honestly, it's still sketchy that none of these links work. I advise not clicking them. However, if you go to the pinned comment, the links do work, and the Google Doc is the script for the video. You don't get very far into the script before you realize how deep Shannon Creepshow Art has went into the past of Emily. This has went above and beyond tenfold of trying to exonerate yourself and showing evidence to plead your case about why you didn't do A or B. And now this is in the realm of like super solidified creepiness, and you're definitely not pleading your case. She's got pictures from when Emily was 15 years old, accounts before she was a public figure, speculating on random tattoos, no evidence, and talking about Emily's past dependency issues on illegal substances. The point is this video wasn't a video to exonerate herself. This was a video where she could come out and try to hurt as many people as possible. As many people as she felt wronged her, she wanted to hurt those people. It's also important to say that Emily has been straightforward and honest with her past use of substances and her struggles with said substances. This isn't something that she was trying to hide. This was something that she was very open about. And I got to say that anybody that knows anybody that's been struggling with these types of substances, it's a huge feat to get off of them. Like, I know people that are struggling currently that want to be off these substances so bad, but are unable to do it. I see the struggle. I've seen the struggle in a person that doesn't want to do it. The aches and the pains, they physically hurt all over. So Emily being somebody that has beat this, that's an amazing thing, and that's something to be celebrated. Creepshow Art making the majority of her video trying to assassinate the character of Emily and generally just try to hurt her with this past dependency issue. I'm saying dependency issue because I'm trying to get around YouTube from suppressing this video. I think you guys know what I'm saying. I fully believe that this video was specifically made to hurt Emily and others she mentioned. I brought this up before, but it was further solidified in this last paragraph here where she speaks of 2 of my friends. I will not be responding to comments. I will not be interacting with this video or this channel after this, lest I be talking about how certain people like Ashley Lilly and Repzilla went above and beyond to lie, dox, and slander me. P.S. Repzilla say in his video he wasn't really friends with me is silly, seeing as he cried on a Discord call with me because he had never had real YouTube friends and had never been close to someone online. But sure, try to save your skin. I can assure you 100% this is fact. Ashley Lilly and Repzilla never doxed Shannon Creepshow. This never happened. That is a lie. And when I was going through this video on my live stream, I felt extremely uncomfortable because the details of the video, it was just personal stuff. I was like, man, this video should not be online. And something I want to make sure that you guys know about Repzilla in this piece where she is basically making fun of him for crying. Repzilla was going through a very, very difficult situation with his ex-girlfriend. He's talked about this publicly. I believe the video is still up. You can go to his channel, check that out if you want to. But this was something that he was talking to us behind the scenes about. I don't want to go into details of it because, like I said, he's talked about it publicly, but it's not my piece to talk about. But it was a very difficult situation, and it was something that was making him emotional. And this is something that is to use against somebody in this way, to make fun of them, further shows the type of person that she is. I talked about this in my live stream when I was talking with Ashley Lilly and Edwin from Edwin's Generation. I'll play the clip here. She was basically making fun of Repzilla for crying when she knew the personal...
Which never happened.
Well, the fact that... Here's the thing. He was going through a lot during that time. And she also knew that. And so whether he was or he wasn't, that doesn't matter. It just matters that she would even put him in the position knowing the strain and pressure that he was under during that time. And that's what made me angry.
Well, according to Repzilla, that conversation between them never even happened, that she keeps referencing. The same thing with Tipster. So she keeps saying, like, these people opened up to me and cried to me, and then both of them are like, no, we didn't.
Oh, yeah, she said the same thing of Tipster.
There was a Discord call that Repzilla wanted me and Shannon to have with his ex because he didn't know how to handle her, and he was pretty emotional. I don't remember if he cried, but I guess maybe she's being whatever.
She's probably just milking it.
Yeah, and it's weird that because I don't particularly remember if he said I've never been close with YouTube friends or whatever, but like if he was emotional over it, he's not being emotional over that. He's being emotional over the fact that his ex was being pretty abusive.
Ashley, were you in the group chat with me and Edwin and so it was like when we were talking with when Repzilla was talking about the girlfriend stuff?
No, I wasn't in that one because I didn't really know Repzilla at the time. We didn't start talking until a little bit after.
That's what I was referring to, Edwin, is when he was having those like personal conversations.
Oh,
and
yeah. That was also really
that I believe that's what she was talking about in that description. Those instances when.
So she's just like making them seem like worse than or more like intimate than they were, basically, just to try to have the upper hand against them.
To me, she was purposely trying to hurt him.
Yeah.
This is very much stuff that she did. She made you feel like she was like your best friend, like that you could trust her. And it was a good feeling having somebody like that on YouTube. And I imagine that's how Repzilla felt, because that's how we all felt. There's a part in this video, part 11, Amy, proof she exists. Now, the Amy situation is another big tell. There was a situation with Creepshow Art where she was explaining a situation where she was stalked by somebody named Amy. She said that Amy was not the real name of said person and that she didn't want to show the name of said person because she wanted to protect their identity.
Amy is the girl who used to harass me online, who I originally met on stardoll.com when I was in middle school. As I say in the video, but Amy did not grow up in San Jose with me. We never knew each other personally, and she was someone I strictly knew online who lived states away from me. Emily tried to state in her video that that video was secretly about her, that I was setting a backstory up to one day say that Emily was actually Amy, and by simply calling her Amy, I was referencing her because according to her, I was trying to lay breadcrumbs online to paint her as a malicious stalker.
Isn't that a coinky dink? That right there is the most passive-aggressive I have ever read, and is also one of the many breadcrumbs that she started leaving behind, that she had a quote-unquote stalker named Amy. I think it's funny that she picked the name Amy. I think she deliberately picked a name that was very close to mine so that if I ever came out with, she could be like, see, I even chose Amy because it sounds like Emily. And of course, she picked all the things that she did to me. So then I couldn't even come out if I wanted to, because then it would seem like I was copying her instead of her copying me.
That is not the case. And it's also very stupid. The video I put up, which is still up, has various details that do not match with Emily. It would make no sense for me to say that Emily and I were friends online ever, seeing as we never knew each other outside of her being a friend of some friends and one of my ex-boyfriend's exes before I even had a crush on him. Me stating that she grew up states away from me also does not align with her being Emily, seeing as Emily went to school in California and I know people who know her. It would make no sense for that video to be about her.
In order to prove my case, here are the cringy emails that Amy and I sent to each other in middle.
Hold on a second. So the email is where it gets to the point where it just doesn't add up. This is somebody that you said that you weren't close to, but then you have cringy emails of being friends as if you were close to them at one point in time. Now, I'm not saying that you were close to this person, but what I am saying is you said that in your video that you referenced that was still live that Amy wasn't their real name. A Creepshow Art video released 2 years ago titled, I Was Stalked for 8+ Years Storytime. As you can see at the 2:51 mark, she says, my online friend Amy. Amy was the girl who would end up being my first online friend in first-person middle school existence who didn't say I was weird for liking what I liked. Again, when Amy and I first became friends, we exchanged email addresses. So there's that inconsistency, but here's another big one. One of the smoking guns. This was a community post 6 months ago, right around the time she was canceled, where she says, a couple years back, I made a video about how I had been stalked for 8 years by a woman called Amy. That's not her real name because I was protecting her identity. Now, this was pointed out by YouTuber Truth Sleuth. Truth Sleuth. That's T-R-U... I'll put their video link in the pinned comment. Now, if you have watched those videos, the ones that Creepshow Art made about being stalked and then also catfished, you can tell that this person's name was adamantly Amy. It was solidified in stone writing. It was the tombstone that solidified on her career. This woman's name was Amy. So we're going to go through the emails here, and I want to show you. This email here is signed by Amy. It's signed by Amy. Now drink your tea. This can only mean a few things. Amy was a real person. That's right, Greg. That doesn't make sense. What? You think so? I think you're right. Imagine, if you will, that Creepshow Art faked all of this stuff in an anonymous way as she did with the locale forum. That would mean, imagine she is sitting somewhere in some room and she's faking emails, like adamantly to make this 2.5 hour long video to put out. I mean, I'm just saying that it could be that. The other option could be that Shannon Creepshow Art actually knows somebody named Amy and had this conversation and a friendship with somebody named Amy and fabricated the current story as it is and used their old friend Amy. And Amy, if you're out there, if you're real, you can go to discord.gg/Repzilla. Send me a message over there on my Discord server, and or you comment in general, and my moderators and team will put you in touch with me over there. And, you know, if you're just watching and you just happen to want to join the server, I've put a lot of hard work into it, so you can also check it out. So here's my belief. This is what I think. I think that one of the biggest reasons that Shannon didn't talk about the locale issue, I mean, this whole video, she didn't bring up the main thing that she was canceled for. I mean, that that was a big part of it. That was like, I want to say 40 to 50% of why she was canceled. She ended up being a hypocrite and a terrible person. That was it. She didn't bring that up because if she talked about that when these emails are right here, then people would put two and two together. Shannon has a habit of making anonymous alt accounts and faking things. And this would tie in right into that. It would just be too much of a highlight, I feel. Another thing I want to talk about is the opening up of this video where it says, if you're seeing this video, it means one of two things happened. Either, number one, my lawyers negotiated with Emily Artful's lawyers and we reached a private settlement which resulted in some retraction, or number two, I took Emily to court for defamation and came out the other side. Now, the first thing to note is that this did not happen. Emily says this on her Twitter. December 31st, 2021. I have more in-depth response I'm working on that I'll post later. But for pressing questions, no. Shannon has not filed a lawsuit, but threatened that if I did not delete every utterance of her name, brand, without an explanation, that she'd sue me for defamation. So when we told her we would not be doing that, but would be willing to never utter her name, brand again, she released this video. And then on January 2nd, Emily posts a snippet from the alleged lawyer of Shannon. January 3rd, she says, I believe that the letter was sent to me from an actual law firm. As I responded from a personal email, it was sent to a different email using the email address from the lawyer's website. I will check tomorrow by sending a verification email, but for now, I'm pretty sure it's legit. So here's the interesting thing about these cease and desist type letters. Your lawyer can write them for just about anything. Like, I had a situation where a lawyer was like, oh, we really can't do anything, but do you want to write a cease and desist? We can write a cease and desist. Probably won't do anything, but we can write you one if you want one. And I was like, no, I don't really want you to do that. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So lawyers will usually write these things if you so want them, just to see if the other person will stop, like more of a preemptive measure or a tactic to stop, get people to stop the action that they're doing that you don't like. So one thing that we can say with the given information is that one or two did not happen. No lawyers negotiated with Emily's lawyers, and Emily did not go to court for defamation, and Shannon came out the other side. And I fully believe that Shannon just wanted to write this at the beginning of her video to give herself some more substantial type of credibility. She wanted to say the word lawyer to give her video like a merit boost. Didn't work out. Another big thing to point out is that this video was posted December 31st, 2021. Her last video, June 6th, 2021. Apparently, if you don't post a video for 6 months, you lose your monetization privileges. This is why I think that Shannon's not finished with YouTube and that she's going to be back. So it could be tomorrow, it could be the next day, but it's probably going to be within this 6 month. We'll probably hear from her around June, but as interesting as this is, there's always something that's more interesting to me. That's right, you guessed it. I want to know what you think. So why don't you go leave your creative and interesting responses in the comment box below. Thumbs up, those likes, as always, brothers and sisters. I will see you in the next video. I just want to thank everybody that has recently joined the Discord server. We've met the goal very fast, and we did a live stream yesterday, and it was awesome. We're very close to the next goal. We're at 2,225. We need to get 2,250. If you guys want to help me out with that goal, I will put the link in the pinned comment. Come check it out. Put a lot of hard work into the server. You can do all kinds of cool things, hanging out with me when I do the public live streams and whatnot. Got a cool mod team. We are fixing to start doing a lot more events. I'm really proud of this. Other than that, I want to thank my patrons. Thank you for your continued ongoing support and for you being so awesome and being alive and drinking water and doing good things for the universe. If you are interested in becoming a Patreon and a supporter of the Repzilla channel, that link will also be in the pinned comment, and your name will be at the end of the video with these individuals of greatness. And that is just another way to show that you're repping. If you're not repping, you're Greg. And how you do that? Go to subscribe, notifications turned on, be in the comment section of every single video, because I'm going to be there. Greg the Cat's going to be there, and the rest of the Repzilla community as well. And I expect to be there too, because this channel loves you. Oh yeah, I tried a new audio recording thing. Let me know if the audio sounds better.